Oh yeah, welcome back to another rendition of Floral Foolishness. He's
Sports.
good Lord, every time I think he forgets. He never does. That's the Wrangler. It's island time. Welcome back to Floral Foolishness, where we're going to debate current topics that we kind of made one of them up if you listen to last week's show, but we think it's still relevant. We're also going to talk about other things and complain about ESPN and all sorts of things. And we have all sorts of unofficial sponsors. Unfortunately, not the Dildo Brewing Company and Museum as an unofficial sponsor. That was last week, but they are near and dear to our heart, while also wearing these crunchy, fantastic, sometimes cut off sleeve Hawaiians. So I'm Stoty. With me, as always, is the Wrangler Jeremy Phelps. So, as always, let's get them opening statements going. What is on your mind?
So mine's pretty brief today. You know, the idea of blackouts in sports markets is asinine, and here's why. So I get the thought process that if I'm in Colorado, like if I'm in Denver and I black out an Avalanche game, that in theory, then I have to go to the game, which drives ticket sales. But I found something out the other day that's amazing to me is that me living in Charlotte, North Carolina, Carolina Hurricanes games are blacked out. The Carolina Hurricanes
Why?
Stadium is 3 hours from Charlotte, and we don't have a professional hockey team in Charlotte to go see.
Not
It's a
like you should go and see the
3 hour drive.
Hurricanes, anyways.
No, I don't really
No.
want to regardless. But like, I don't know, if you're hanging out at the bar and somebody wants to watch hockey, they want to watch the Canes game, you can't because it's blacked out 3 hours from the stadium.
Let me stop you again right there. Who wants to watch a Canes game? It's the
You know,
worst fan base in sports.
Carolina people are simpletons. You just kind of go with it.
I mean, seriously, they're the most fair weather hockey fans on the face of the planet.
Oh yeah, well, they're in playoff time. Like if they're in the playoffs, everybody in the entire state's like, "Oh, I love the Hurricanes. I've been a fan from day one." But anytime like this time of year, nobody even knows that they're relevant or that they're a team.
Day one being the first day of the playoffs, of the
Yes,
Eastern
exactly.
Conference playoffs. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What team did they come from? The Carolina Tornadoes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The Carolina weather, if you will.
Oh, yeah, that's the OG. We really are a fan from day one.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just like,
No, that was the
what?
extent of it. I'm just blown away that we're blacking it out 3 hours from the stadium.
Yeah, talk to Colorado and how much they love altitude
Altitude
sports.
sports. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you knew all about that. You were out there for a while. Yeah, blackouts don't make any fucking sense.
Even a little bit.
And all that stuff goes back to when like radio was first introduced,
Mm.
and stadium owners thought, well, if they can listen to it on the AM radio, why would they ever show up? And now the St. Louis Cardinals are one of the most popular teams in
Yep.
sports, one of the biggest international brands in a city that is just not conducive to having such a thing, right?
Yeah, not even a little
So
bit.
yeah, no, blackouts are stupid, and the root of that evil is even worse. So, yeah, opening statement for this week. The snowbirds are starting to come back
Oh yeah.
to New England,
Getting
which
warm
is
again.
yeah, it's not fun. A couple weeks ago, I was down in Daytona for the 500, and I saw a bunch of them down there. They were like, "Oh, look, there's a live free or die plate," and it's like, I no, they're not New Hampshire people. We're not talking with them. They're assholes, and
Mm.
so they could just stay here, but they're apparently not. Um, yeah, yesterday was pretty great. Got behind, not a Subaru. I
There
was
we go.
shocked,
That's
but
progress.
probably had it in their heart though. Had the Subi in their
They
heart.
probably traded their Subian for it, honestly.
Yeah, probably. It was like some Kia thing, and yeah, I
The
mean
family, the family version of a Subaru.
they were just straight up pounding fucking Yinglings in their car. Like you
Mm.
could tell the bottle and the whole thing. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, 4 lanes ain't enough for this fucking little
I
Kia thing.
feel like when two hipsters lay an egg and hatch their child, they trade their Subaru in for the more family efficient Kia Soul.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing says family like the hamster car.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Hipsters love it.
Yeah, yeah, and Big Zo, which it's his birthday today. So if If you're actually listening, happy birthday, Big Zoe. He's a big fan of the Kia Soul, I think.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know why, but anyways, yeah, just wanted to say the snowbirds are coming back, and so the misery continues. So, but hey, that means it's almost spring, so that's a good thing, right? So with that, let's go ahead and get to our first topic for this week. And we go to a source that makes most of this dumbass shit that we say on this show look halfway intelligent, the ESPN. So this clickbaity story came to us late Saturday night from ESPN's Rich Paul. But first, before we begin, Wrangler, we got a quiz for you.
Oh, I
A
like these
quiz.
quizzes. What do we got? What
Yeah.
do we got?
All right. So you're an NBA team owner.
Okay.
And somehow you're
Donald
not.
Sterling.
I was gonna say somehow you're not staunchly racist, but
Damn.
I guess you could.
Oh,
I
for
guess
one
you,
on this quiz.
I guess you really could be if you wanted to. Okay, but
It's the only owner I wanted to be. Son of a bitch. Fine, I'm cubes.
Partial owner now. That's a whole other story. So, anyways, there's a potential person you could throw a draft pick at in this year's lottery. But let's go through some of his stats.
Okay.
He's averaging 20 minutes a game.
Okay.
5 points per game, 2.8
Okay.
2.8 boards or rebounds, and
Okay.
2.4 assists per game. So you
Okay.
drafting this kid or not?
Well, it depends. There's very important information that was left out. I'm
Uh,
assuming in this scenario, I'm the Charlotte Hornets owner. Is this guy 7 feet tall and white? Because if so, I'm trading a king's ransom to take him number one overall.
he is not 7 foot tall and white.
Then I have no interest in him as the Hornets owner. No.
All right, but any other owner, any interest at all? No.
Mm, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna add one little tidbit in for you. His last name is James, is in Bronny James.
So he is 7 feet tall and white.
All right, so
I'm back in. I'm back in.
Donald
Frank
Sterling.
Kaminsky, Adam Morrison, they can't lead me wrong. Gordon Hayward.
Oh man, Gonzaga fans are just drooling. Adam Morris, holy shit! There's a name for you. All right,
who was the giant white dude from UNC? Tyler Hansbrough. Can't go wrong. All top 10 picks, I think.
All the Plumlee brothers,
exactly.
All of them. Just
they didn't even get the right Hansbrough. One of them went to Indiana, was halfway decent. The one they took was fucking terrible. They're not even drafting the right tall white guys.
Right? Come on. Anyway, so we're not talking about the all honky NBA team. We're talking about LeBron James' son, Bronny James. Why on earth, after this year, would you draft him? Also, keeping in mind that he did have a heart defect that kept him out for 5 months. Glad he's feeling better from that. But for fuck's sakes, why on earth would you even consider drafting this guy outside of the name and jerseys shit?
The only reason I would draft him in all seriousness is because LeBron is going to play with him for 1 or 2 years before he retires. And so if I'm a team like a smaller market team that hasn't had a lot of success, right? Like if I'm we're going to go with Detroit as an example right now, because Detroit's been a train wreck for a while here. I know it's not a smaller market necessarily. I mean, it is compared to LA, but if you're Detroit, there's no chance in hell of you ever signing LeBron James. He's just not going to play for you in Detroit. Detroit, not that far from Cleveland. If you draft Bronny and you have his rights, you know LeBron wants to play with him. So if you refuse to trade Bronny to whatever team LeBron wants him on because they just don't want to give up, I don't know, their washing machine for him, there's a chance you get LeBron to come to Detroit to play out his final 1, 2, 3 remaining years of his career. And that means you're going to get superstar power around him and, regenerate your franchise in that way. So the only possible way I would draft Bronny James is as like a late second round pick if I was a team like a Detroit who just needs the capital in order to get star power.
Okay, so here's a quiz for you. You can't look it up or nothing. Okay. The Detroit Pistons through 59 games have what record?
6-53.
Actually, very close. 9-50.
Let's go. Double digits. Almost there.
Hey,
almost there.
Hey, we're almost to counting on toes, Detroit fans. We're almost there. I know you don't know how to do that,
I just don't understand in a sport where you only have to put five guys on the court how you can possibly be that bad. Like, I'm not saying that like you should be a champion, but it's not like football where you have to have like realistically like 40 dudes that can play the game in order to be good. You literally need five guys.
Yeah, like in a league that always or that tries to make itself out as, excuse me, being highly competitive and parity and such, you have the 9-50 Pistons heading down to take on the apparent Eastern Conference juggernaut that is the Orlando Magic, boasting a 34-26 record right now.
Weirdly, Paulo Banchero turned that whole franchise around, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a completely different topic altogether, but the idea of the draft lottery is partially why Detroit's in the spot they're in. They should have been number one overall this past year. They should have gotten Wembayama, and whether you think he's the truth or not, he's better than Ausair Thompson that they got, or Amen Thompson, whatever his fucking name is,
Uh,
who like 10 games into the season got taken out of the starting lineup and thrown onto their bench. So I
I have
get the
heard of
idea.
none of these people
Yeah,
in my
exactly.
life.
Exactly my point. And so realistically, the whole idea behind the worst team in the league getting a number one overall pick is, in theory, to balance it out, right? But Detroit got Cade Cunningham with the number one overall pick, who's easily their best player, and then hasn't had another number one overall pick since then, despite the fact they've been the worst team in the league pretty much every year since.
And this year
Um,
too.
and this year they will be the worst team in the league and probably once again not get the number one overall pick. Although number two overall, maybe they'll take Bronny.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take this in the direction of, why does ESPN care so much? Like,
Why does ESPN care so much about Bronny? Because they have nothing
yeah,
else to talk about.
uh, you have plenty to talk about. Maybe you
Mm.
could talk about hockey once. That would be fun,
Uh,
wouldn't
you mean the thing that you have almost sole rights to? No,
it? Why would
that
you
would be
want to do
stupid.
that?
That would be stupid.
Yeah,
Um, Fun fact: I didn't know Buddy Boeheim was playing in Detroit.
but what? Wait, really?
Jim Boeheim's kid, Buddy Boeheim,
No,
playing in Detroit.
really, Buddy
Um,
Boeheim.
but to your point about people I've never heard in my entire life, Tosan Evbumwan, no idea who that is. Malachi Flynn, nope. Sim Simone Fontecchio, nope. Quentin Grimes, nope. Jared Roden, nope. Marcus Sasser, hey y'all, I'm Marcus Sasser. Nice to meet you. Stanley Umude, no, I know who none of these people are. I don't think they're real people.
I love it how Buddy Boeheim doesn't have a salary listed. It's just two dash marks.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah. Wow.
That's probably a couple of them are like that. I would assume that's probably because they're playing for their G League
G
affiliate
League
right now. Yeah.
has to be. Yeah. Has to be. And
If
it's
they're on
like,
a two-way contract, then in theory they wouldn't have a salary.
yeah. And then you have Evan Fournier, who's making $18 million at 31.
Good
Never
for
heard of
you,
him.
Evan
Yeah.
Fournier. He actually came from the Magic, I think.
Oh, really? Huh, good for
Yeah,
you.
apparently he was the problem.
Yeah.
Good for you, Evan Fournier. You just bring despair and just losses everywhere you go for $18 million a year. Good job.
Dude, and
Just saying.
he's the highest paid
I'm
on
going to
the, oh my God.
for anybody who ever watched Plastered, from time to time we'd throw out challenges to people, and if they didn't want to come fight, they'd lose, whatever. I'm going to take this a different direction though. Pistons GM, I can lose games for you just as easily as Evan Fournier, if not better. I don't even need 18 million. I'll do it for, let's say, 10 million. I'll do it for almost half. You've got until the end of the business day Monday to offer me a contract, or we're just going to go ahead and assume that I'm signed to your G League affiliate for $10 million a year.
Oh man, hey, somebody already beat you to this on the squad. All right, Stanley Umude, I think
Yeah,
that's how you say it. Who is making a whopping $538,000 this season
there we go.
out of our goddamn Kansas.
Our Kansas, not your Kansas.
Not your fucking Kansas. This actually turned out funner this way of just looking at who the fuck is on the Pistons roster, and God, it is not
Absolutely
disappointing.
nobody. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, James Wiseman You think him and Jameis Winston hang out?
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's the dude who so he was like the number one recruit in the country, and he went to Memphis and played 3 games, and then they basically said he was illegally recruited, and
Mhm.
so never played another college game ever again. Got drafted like top 10 by the Warriors, and now he's just riding the bench for the Pistons.
I love it. I love it. God, yeah, he doesn't have great stuff going on. Holy shit. Yeah. Nothing. I
Well,
mean, he's not even getting 20 minutes a game for the Pistons. The
that's what I'm
9
saying.
and 50 Pistons.
When they traded for him last year, he I think they sent him down to G League first, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think he was with G League for the Warriors, and then they traded and called him up. But yeah.
Wow. Holy crap. Holy crap. All right. Quentin Grimes. Do you think he goes around just yelling Coral at people?
I
I think
actually
he
do.
dude, if you pull up his picture, yeah, he kind of looks like it.
Um,
Coral.
I'm just looking at how many players have played for the Pistons this year, which is a lot, and how bad pretty much all of them are stats wise. But the fact that this Fontecchio guy is averaging 14 points a game, and I've never heard of him in my life, says a lot about the Pistons. Bogdan Bogdanovich, second leading scorer.
Ooh. Ooh. That's cool. That's
It's nice.
cool. Yeah. Is it Simon or Simone Fontecchio?
I think it's Simone.
Let's see. Yeah, his picture suggests he might be a Simone. Let's
You know
look.
how when you were a kid, you watched like Looney Tunes, and there was Pepe Le Pew who basically just sexually assaulted that skunk every day, or that whatever it was.
Yeah.
He looks like the human version of Pepe Le Pew. Like he just goes around and just like sexually assaults trainers and like fans and anybody who's in his path. He's just like, oh, Simone, oh,
I make Brett Favre look humane. Simone.
Fontecchio.
Oh no.
You call
Uh,
me Simone Fontecchio because I touch you so inappropriate.
just like he inappropriately touches people on the basketball court, and that's why he's the leading
Exactly.
scorer because nobody wants to be near him. All right,
Facts.
here's the last thought on Brawny. Don't draft him this year. Don't do
Agreed.
it.
Yeah,
Uh,
agreed.
there's no reason to. There's no reason for ESPN to be talking about, oh, why wouldn't you draft somebody who gets 5 points a game in the Pac 12? That's all I have to say about that. Jay's
Yeah.
got our intro to the next topic. Yeah, bring us into this fun world that you created last week.
All right. So last week we talked about the idea of a race. And in this race, you weren't allowed to use anything technology related, including even like a compass, right? And so, we had the idea yesterday that, hey, why don't we just go ahead and just figure out how we would win said race? So the rules are pretty straightforward. All right. You have to start with 1 foot in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's get to 1 foot in the Pacific Ocean as fast as you can do it. You can't use any tech of any kind, not even a compass. And then each state you enter, you have to use a mode of transportation accepted there. So, in other words, like a horse and buggy in Pennsylvania. Those are the only rules. So, with that, we're going to go down this fucking rabbit hole, which will probably be a shit show. We're going to
Yes.
go one state at a time and
Mm-hmm.
fucking figure out how we're going to get from the East Coast to the West Coast off of these
Mm-hmm.
rules.
And
Stoczy,
each of us are going to have a turn going, so we're going to have our own routes. So
yeah,
we'll go different ways. And I
we did
bust.
not talk about this ahead of time. So, yeah,
Nope.
we could be on opposite sides of the country for this potentially.
Oh yeah, so I got my dice out too. So we're adding D&D mechanics into this because that's
Let's
all I want
go.
to do. But yeah, so just for other points of clarification here, the states that you would start with your feet in the Atlantic include Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Let's see, Rhode Island, uh, Connecticut, New York, uh, New
New
Jersey,
Jersey. Delaware,
Delaware,
Maryland.
yep, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So yeah, I'll let you go ahead and start us off with this one. It's your idea, so go for it.
All right. So I'm going to start in Maryland. Um, I'm going to start in Maryland and touch my feet on the Eastern Shore. And if we're talking about mode of transportation, that's something that's local to the state of Maryland. Baltimore is Rat City, bitch. There is rats everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, there's also a lot of homeless there. I'm going to find a shopping cart from a local grocery store. And I'm just going to tie a whole bunch of rats to a string and just have these rats pull my shopping cart over the Bay Bridge from the Eastern Shore all the way into the next state.
Yep.
That's how we're going
No.
to start this fucking thing off.
Okay. Now, is your next state Virginia or West Virginia?
I'll get to that when we get to that because I have not figured that out yet.
All right. All right. Cool. So I got myself a nice little D12 here, even though there's 14 potential states. So I'm gonna take Maine out of it just because you would have to cross a lot more
Yeah.
just to get going. And I'll take Maryland out of it because you started there. So all right, here we go. A five. So that's one, two, three, four. New York. Fuck
All
me.
right. Starting on Long Island, baby. Let's go.
Yep, starting on Long Island. Okay. So we can't use mass transit. Um, fuck. Oh, yeah, okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Um, I'm going to do a very similar Iditarod thing that you were doing,
Okay.
only with a bunch of homeless people. Um, I think that yeah, that's very insensitive and probably the worst thing I think I've ever said in my entire life. But I was not expecting New York, and I want this to go. But um yeah, yeah, so I think we're just gonna do that. You know those like little trolley thing or not trolley things, but those little things you sit in the back and they like run with them. I'll just keep continually doing that until I get into Pennsylvania.
I like it.
I think
I
that's
like
how
it.
we'll do it. Yeah.
All right. So next up for me, after I leave the great state of Maryland with my rat cart, I'm going into Virginia. Virginia state slogan is Virginia is for lovers. So I'm going to do this off the power of love. Now, Cupid is this little baby with these big fucking wings that make him fly. So if we could do that for a baby, why couldn't we do that for me? It's not going to be motorized. I'm just going to put wings on my arms and just flap until I get through Virginia and into my next state.
So Jeremy is leaving Virginia not only as a lover but swole as fuck.
Oh yeah, let's go, baby.
Just fucking drunken Icarus up there. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna roll for success of whatever bullshit I come up with per state because I want to roll per state, right? So Pennsylvania, we got to talk about the horse and buggy people. So I figure like when I get there, they're gonna see my like homeless Iditarod and be like, well, that doesn't seem too great. That seems kind of questionable. And then go ahead and try and convince them to give me a horse and buggy. Ah, fuck, 11. So it kind of works. Okay, here's
Your
how
wheel falls off like halfway through.
uh they just reluctantly are like, you need more help than we can give you. Um, please take this and leave. Head that way towards Ohio. But we'll do odds. I end up in Ohio. Evens, we end up in West Virginia. Oh, six, baby. We going to West by God, Virginia. Let's go.
Let's go. I was trying to figure, do I want to go into West Virginia or just go straight in Kentucky? I'm going to go straight in Kentucky here.
Yeah, yeah, you should.
Yep. Yep. So, I'm thinking that in Kentucky, right, they're known for a lot of stuff, none of it good. But the biggest thing they're known for there is bourbon.
Yes.
So, what I'm thinking is I'm going to get a bourbon barrel. I'm going to jump inside of it, and basically just roll that fucker all the way through the state of Kentucky. I think if this bourbon barrel just keeps on rolling, 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 eventually I'm going to get out of that state and into the next one, which I have to look up because I don't know what touches Kentucky.
You're looking at either Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, or Tennessee.
We're definitely going to Illinois next. Yep.
Okay. So I'm in West Virginia right now. And everybody knows that in West Virginia it's all about the coal, but that uses the devil's machinery. So I'm going to go with the alternate option that makes fun of Virginia a lot, or West Virginia, I should say a lot, in cousin fucking. And that's how it's going to be powered.
How is
Uh
cousin fucking going to get you there?
it's the power of love, baby. I don't know, but I rolled a 15, so it's successful.
West Virginia is also for lovers.
Yeah, but not cousin lovers. Come on, come on. All right. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes as Jeremy explains his next little stop to you fine folks, and I'll be back. So make Illinois a long one.
Yeah. So Illinois is known for a few things. They're known for Kanye West. They're known for just oodles and oodles of gang violence. They're also known as the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. And so I don't know if there's a connection between Lincoln Logs and Abraham Lincoln, but for the purpose of this, I feel like there needs to be. And I think we also need to tie the gang violence in there as well. So if we get just a whole bunch of Lincoln Logs, like I'm talking like an excessive amount of Lincoln Logs, I think we could basically build a car out of Lincoln Logs, but not put an engine into it, right? So in this scenario, with Lincoln Logs, you've got like wheels, you've got like a chassis, you've got everything you'd have in a normal car. It can still roll without being electrical. You just don't have an engine in it because that would be the technology component. But then you need a way to power it, right? And so I think the way you try to power this is you somehow have to tie that gang violence in. And so I think the way you tie the gang violence in is you just paint it red or blue. And then basically you have the full support of the Bloods or the Crips on your side to push you through the state of Illinois, which is honestly, what Abraham Lincoln intended when being born in the state of Illinois is that someday you'd have a Lincoln log car pushed around by gangs of separate colors. I think the alternate option to that, looking at this because I got lied to, is you could also go through Tennessee. But Tennessee is really only known for country music. I don't really know how you would use country music to get through an entire state, because I feel like if you're trying to get through an entire state with country music, eventually you'd run out of guitars. I don't know. So I guess what I would do in that scenario is I would take two guitars and strap them to my feet like snowshoes. Which probably wouldn't help the situation any because there's not really much snow in Tennessee. But yeah, no, I think if I was going through Tennessee and going south, that's how I would do it. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling here though. So we'll go two states here. We'll double up. So from Illinois, I then have the option of Iowa, Missouri, or Wisconsin. So I'm going to go through Missouri. Missouri doesn't have much, and it's not known for much. I Googled what is the state of Missouri known for, and pretty much nothing came up. I thought maybe there'd be something like super cool that the state of Missouri would give me here. I did not have that at all. What's the state of Missouri known for? It's random oversized objects, and that's highlighted and bolded. It's home to a 12-foot long pecan, a giant rocking chair is more than 42 feet tall, a 43-foot tall rooster, and the world's largest chess piece. Does not specify what that chess piece is. So being known for oversized random objects is A, just a strange thing to be known for, but B, also just doesn't really help me in this scenario, other than what's in St. Louis, which is the Gateway Arch. So what I'm going to do is take a rope from one side of the state of Missouri, and tie it to the top of the gateway arch, and then just use that to swing myself from one side of the state to the other through their random and odd oversized objects. So yeah, I just got through two states. I just went through Illinois and Missouri. So now I'm in either Nebraska or Kansas. So now you can go with two states of your own here.
Okay, I will go with two states of my own. I
I also
like,
talked about how I get through Tennessee, which is irrelevant, but yeah.
yeah, we don't have to go that way. Okay, so I think I figured it out, and I'm gonna retcon some things, and try and bring some justice to my Iditarod team. Um, so I'm just gonna assume that they kept following me because they had nothing to do through Pennsylvania, and so they're
Yeah,
just kind of hanging out with some, Amish folks. Like, wow, these are fine people, and so probably lose a couple of them there. So I'm thinking, a really good human Iditarod team is what, like 20 people? I don't know.
sure.
Why
Sounds right.
not? Yeah. So some of them convert and become full on duchy in Pennsylvania. So we're going to go with that. And then the rest of them, while we're in West Virginia, and you were like, well, how does cousin fucking power you like to get through the state? And I said, well, I rolled a 15, so it was successful. So here's how. It's The people actually end up finding their long lost cousin lovers in West Virginia. And through that, and through the power of love, cousin fucking Iditarod gets me through the state, and now I have no more homeless people. So, so
I like
they,
it.
I think everybody kind of wins in that scenario. Hey, we're all in better places. Okay, so now have the choice of either going Ohio or Kentucky. We're gonna move forward on this one. Um, let's see. Let's see here. Okay, so got an odd. Well, yeah, we'll just say Kentucky for the sake of it. That I don't want to steal your idea, but I was thinking the bourbon barrel things as well. Except that's very Donkey Kong esque, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, so not really gonna try and shoot out of a barrel per se. But I think what I could do is like take individual bottles of
Mhm.
like that are rounded and then line them up kind of as like alcoholic skis to get across the state.
I like it.
All
I like
right.
it.
So let's see how successful that is. Oh, natty 20. Let's fucking go.
Apparently your best idea of all.
Yeah. So everybody's drunk and everybody won. So that's how we're getting through that state.
Yep.
Um, let's see here.
So now you've got either Missouri, which I already did, Illinois, which I already did, Tennessee, which I already did. So I did all three of those, and then two of them can lead you to Arkansas, or Illinois can lead you to Iowa.
Yeah, it could. It could. Let's see here. So all right. We're gonna roll a D6. One and two, Illinois, three and four, Missouri, four and or whatever, the rest of them, the end of them, Tennessee. All right, three. So we got Missouri. All right.
Missouri, which, as I was just informed, is a place of random oversized objects, is what it's known for.
Oh, that's good because I'm finding the biggest ball of yarn and running on that bitch.
Fuck yeah. I like
Um,
it.
yeah, so let's see, Missouri. How can we make this a little more funny? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head, let's see, like towards the middle of the state, mostly towards like Kansas City. So that's kind of where I'm leaning with this. But I'm going to, because I need inspiration because I'm tired. I'm going to go up to some barbecue shops and I'm going to be like, in Memphis, it's a lot better. So I have to run from people.
Just to give yourself the energy to go.
Yeah, that's it. So let's see. Let's take her. Oh yeah, I got a 4 on that one. So it does not work well. We're gonna put it that way. I get the shit kicked out of me, and they're just like Kansas City bar. How dare you use the sauce, you motherfucker? And then just like fucking Dragon Ball Z, fucking getting smoked like Krillin. There we go. That's Missouri unsuccessfully.
All right. Coming out of Missouri, I've got either Nebraska or Kansas. I'm going to go Nebraska for
No,
this one.
you could do Oklahoma too. That kind of touches.
They do sort of touch. I'm going to stick with Nebraska, though. So I'm gonna go up to Nebraska, and Nebraska is known for corn. Uh, Corn stalks are very long and kind of look like stilts. So
Mm,
I'm gonna grab two corn stalks, make them into
mm.
stilts, and that way, with every step I take, instead of a little bit, I'm getting a lot of distance. I'm just gonna stilt my way on a corn stalk across the state of Nebraska.
All right, corn stilts. Let's go. Okay. So I got the same kind of thing. I'm beat to shit. But we'll do Kansas or Oklahoma. So, all right, odd. We'll go with Kansas, the most
Yep,
boring state to drive through ever.
that is true. There's 7 hours of it, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing there.
Which is going to make it even more miserable without cars, right?
Yep.
So, okay, so we go through Kansas City. Um, okay, what's going to happen here? Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen here. I go to the women's professional soccer complex that they are building in Kansas City, and I ask if Brittany Mahomes is available because, uh, well, again, I need inspiration. I'm beat to shit. And so I'm like, hey, need to talk to Brittany. She comes out. Taylor Swift comes out. Travis Kelsey comes out. I mean, none of this is plausible, folks. So we're just going to roll with it. All
Yeah.
right. Um, and then I just ask her what it's like to be a gold digger and run again, because that's the only thing that I can really think for Kansas. Because what the fuck is there really?
Wind power.
Wind power. There is wind power there,
Mhm.
but at least to get from the eastern part of the state out. Holy fuck, a two? Jesus Christ. Okay, I
Pissing
almost.
people off is going really poorly for you
Yeah,
right
it
now.
is. It is. I can't really continue to do that. So yeah, Travis Kelsey just like fucking Gronk spikes me, just fucking blah. Especially like on my way down when I'm like, wait, Brittany Mahomes, can I use your Dumbo ears to fly across the state bed? And then just yeah, so that's how that one goes. Um, but yeah, with the power of the winds, I think at that point afterwards, I just become a tornado surfer, all right, or a twister surfer,
Wisdom.
and that's
I
how we're
like it.
gonna get across that state.
I like it. All right. Coming out of Nebraska, we've got Colorado or Wyoming. I'll give you Colorado. I'll go up to Wyoming. So in Wyoming, let's see. Uh, Wyoming's known for a few things, and all of these are fun facts that you may not know. Wyoming was the first state ever to grant women the right to vote. It's also the first state ever to have a female governor. It's the least populated state in the United States, and rodeo is their official state sport. Also, fun fact that's unrelated to what I'm about to do here, Wyoming's motto, this is somehow their motto, is equal rights.
Yeah, because that's the first thing I think of when I think of Wyoming.
That's
Yep.
660,000 well-informed civilians trying to better each other in their own community. So what I'm going to do is very straightforward here. Rodeo is the official state sport. Women are in power there. I'm going to find a woman on a horse and just jump on the back and have a horse-powered woman-powered horse take me across this state. Because equal rights.
Shut up, woman, get on my horse, or be the
Shut up,
horse.
woman. I'm getting on your horse.
Nice, nice. All right. Now, in your Wyoming trip, do you visit the state's only elevator in Cheyenne?
Oh, absolutely. You got to go up and then get right back down.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's exotic, folks. Okay, so after getting the shit kicked out of me in the Central Time Zone, we're gonna enter Colorado. So when I get there, it's time to chill out a little bit. Probably enjoy some of the state's fine adult beverages and extracurricular activities. So I feel like this part of the trip is just kind of where the momentum dies for the most part, especially going over the Rockies. All right. But just thinking of all the fun I could have had in West Virginia by going through the coal mines and stuff. I think I'm going to try something a little bit similar to get over the Rockies now. and do like a Donkey Kong version of like the mine shaft, like kart racing stuff that was part of the game. Remember what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we're gonna do that, which also fits with Colorado being the weed state. 19, fuck yeah, let's go.
Things
So
are turning around.
yeah, so I guess you know, like devil's lettuce, and I meet Diddy Kong, and he shows me how to do this shit, and it's just highly successful. So I guess from this point I can go Utah. Well, it is four corners, right? So I could go
Yeah,
Arizona
Utah,
too.
Arizona, New Mexico.
Okay. All right. All right. So I
I'm
think
probably going to go down into Utah because I just looked it up and Idaho has literally nothing. So I think
it
I'm
just
going to
has.
take Utah.
I'm surprised you didn't take Idaho for Boise, like with the
Uh,
duck murder field. Like you could
shoot.
get some
But
power off of that,
a dead duck can't take me anywhere. Only a living one can. That defeats the whole purpose.
dude. That's why you catch them with a net.
Oh, fair. All right. So to Stokes' point, because we basically figured out how I'm getting through Idaho, so you can have Utah. Boise State has blue turf. Ducks think the blue turf is water, so they basically just nosedive out of the sky and break their necks and die, and just are on the turf field. So I think that's a great point. We'll just get a giant net out there above the field, catch these ducks, and then use duck power to fly me across the state of Idaho. I like it.
I like it too. I'm glad you left me Utah as well. Even though I'm going to lose now, it's fine. I'm still going through Utah because it's
Do
too
it.
funny.
Do it.
Um, yeah, so when I enter the state from Colorado, I'm going to assume that I'm immediately going to be arrested for trespassing and stuff like that. So sitting in the county jail, gonna look into my magical hat that I take off of some other guy that's probably in the drunk tank. And I look into it and I start to say things like, oh my God, he's talking to me through magical golden bricks. And I convince people that this is the way to do things. So in Utah, because it is the West, there's obviously skiing and such. Snowmobiles probably wouldn't count here, but I would trade fake facts about things for skis just so I could go cross country skiing and get to the West. But mostly I'm just lying to a bunch of Mormons, which I got an 18 on. So again, highly successful.
Let's go. All right. Coming out of Idaho, I've got either Washington or Oregon. I'm going to go to Oregon. And according to the internet, one of the things Oregon's known for is barking sea lions on the bayfront. So let me paint this picture for you here. Crossed all these states so far. How many states have we crossed at this point? Too many. Crossed like 8, 9, 10 states at this point. I'm in Oregon. I'm crossing into the state of Oregon, getting ready to win this race. What do? Is I find the biggest sea lion I can find, jump on his back, have him take me across the state, and imagine as I'm getting ready to cross the finish line, you just see me riding this giant sea lion, just going ar 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 ar, taking me all the way in the Pacific Ocean for the win.
And then it doesn't stop, and all of a sudden you're in Japan.
Exactly.
Nice. I love it. I love it. All right. So choices now in Utah. I could go Idaho, Nevada, Arizona. We're we're gonna go Nevada in this one. And so quiz for Jeremy. What
Yep.
is the state flower for Nevada?
Cactus.
Sagebrush. So
Yep.
good there. And what is the state bird?
Cactus bird.
The mountain bluebird. So very
Oh,
good there too.
fuck.
Yeah.
Easy one to miss. Easy one to miss.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some sagebrush and I'm going to weave it into a giant net and take
Okay.
the same Boise duck idea only for mountain bluebirds. So I have
I
to
like
catch
it.
roughly 100,000 of these fucking things. So and a 9 is probably not going to do that. So it's going to take a long fucking time. But
Yep.
we're going to assume that at some point pointed in the right direction to get to California, right? So
There's a slam dunk for how you get through California, but I'm see if you get it on your own here.
slam dunk for it.
Hmm.
Well, I was going to say So California, as we all know, is home to a lot of fine features such as fortune cookies, wetsuits, and Barbie dolls. So, of course, me not knowing that the patriarchy doesn't have anything to do with horses, um, I am obviously going to enter Barbie land for
I,
this.
I didn't
But
know the patriarchy was out of Wyoming.
fuck, I didn't know that either. Shit. Nevada, you mean?
No, Wyoming. That was the first state to legalize women voting,
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
and they have horses.
They good lord, horses everywhere. Um, so between me walking around Barbie Land in a wetsuit eating fortune cookies, I'm probably going to get asked to leave, which being all magical, I believe would put me right at the Pacific Ocean after I annoy the Barbie people enough. So there you
That
go.
logic checks out. Fun fact: do you know what Cerritos, California, is home to?
I do not.
The headquarters for Razor scooters. Imagine this picture. I'm up in Oregon. You're in California. You're scooting as fast as you can go. My barking
Scoop.
seal's just, and we're side by side trying to get to that fucking ocean.
And I feel like just because of the mayhem and chaos I've created along the way, there's going to be all of these like former homeless people from New York chasing after me with pitchforks alongside of Mormons and Brittany Mahomes, just like
And
countless years.
barbecue shop owners, don't forget about them.
That, yeah. They're going to be waiting at the Pacific Ocean for me, just like, what did you fucking say about my barbecue? And
Yeah,
that is how you play that fucking game
that's how you win this race.
really fucking badly. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you fucking do it. From sea to drunken sea. But now finally, we come to one of our favorite weekly segments, our Giuseppe's Stromboli Redo of the Week.
You know, I'm,
This
I'm gonna say in honor of Dune Part Two, I think this week's voice is Christopher Walken.
we didn't even get there yet, but all right. Christopher Walken. All right. Before we get into, well, maybe I could do the voice for this. So, this week's unofficially sponsored Giuseppe segment is unofficially sponsored by Licking Hole Creek Craft Brewery, an agritourism event venue and farm brewery. So, Christopher Walken, what do you do? Christopher Walken. I was in tune too. I was the emperor till they tried to stab me in the face with a soldering iron. And so, in honor of the famous remake of the popular series of books out of the UK, that's the United Kingdom, if you don't know, we honor the pool playing, bang noodle wielding, and absolutely from New Jersey, I mean Kansas wizard, I mean pool player, named Giuseppe in our Giuseppe Stromboli Redo of the Week. Again, unofficially sponsored by Licking Hole Craft, Creek Craft Brewery in beautiful Goochland, Virginia.
Goochland.
Licking Hole Craft, Creek Craft Brewery, a water conscious brewery, and the jokes write themselves. All right. This week we head to the city of brotherly love, where freedom is ringing a bit differently for this season of Phillies baseball. From the city that brought you Pelt the Fat Christmas Man with Batteries, unofficial pride of Duracell, comes the hot dog Nazi. The Phillies have decided to put an end to $1 hot dog games, which were a staple for baseball games in April. Newsflash, it's fucking cold in Philly in April. Still.
True. Yeah, true.
The Philadelphia Phillies said that they would replace the deal with buy one, get one specials instead. So no more 100 or $1 hot dogs for you, which were also used as projectiles. Assume college nights will have cheap as shit PBRs for the fans and the Utes. But if you're the Phillies, What cheap item are you introducing into the mix, and at what price point to keep people coming to freezing ass baseball games in April?
Great question. Um, well, let's see. The Philly Fanatics green and broccoli is green. So I would offer steamed broccoli for $2 a head.
Just a whole
Um,
fucking thing of broccoli.
it's a long game. Baseball games last like 5 hours. It's a lot of broccoli. Let's see. Philly also loves cheesesteaks, but $1 cheesesteaks would be losing money. So it's deconstructed cheesesteaks for $1, where you can get like just the meat or just the bun or just the cheese um, for $1 each. So really, it's like a $5 cheesesteak once you put all those things together.
I would absolutely love that. Just go up and some guy's like, yes, I would just like the steak, please, sir.
Can I get the bun? I've already had the steak.
That sounds super hipster-esque. Like, holy shit, we should try and do that.
Cerritos, California, home of Razor and deconstructed cheesesteaks.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All of a sudden my homeless Iditarod doesn't seem too bad, does it?
Well, think about it. If they're deconstructed, you can give each homeless person a different part of the cheesesteak. It's like $1 each at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You got to feed them somehow.
Okay. I think that's a good answer. Very Philly centric. I too had a Philly centric
Okay.
submission for this. $1 green morph man suits. That's that's my fucking giveaway for this. Mostly because I just want to turn on one game in April where there's just a million fucking
Thousands and thousands and thousands. Yeah.
just people running around in green fucking morph suits in the background the whole fucking game.
Apparently, you can't get arrested in Philadelphia anyway if you can just throw shit at people. So why does it even matter? Crime just, let them go commit crime in their morph man suits. It'll be like Philly Purge.
Yeah. And they're just out there throwing Duracells and hot dogs at people and deconstructed Philly cheesesteaks.
Yep.
Take some
So
hot
we,
cheese, you fucker.
so we talked about in Giuseppe a few weeks ago. They're also now throwing Reese's pumpkins at people in
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia as well. So
Mm-hmm.
just anything they get their hands on, really.
Take this
But that's what
obscure chocolate
that's
art out of here.
that's the other reason that you got to give them dollar broccoli heads, right? It's because steamed broccoli is pretty soft.
Okay. I want to go back to the broccoli heads. Like, as an add-on, can you have it like so you're holding the broccoli head, but can you add on like hot cheese to it?
If you have that the same night as the deconstructed cheesesteak, then in theory,
Oh fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So you just have all these Philly people running around in morph suits hitting each other with fucking like cheese broccoli
cheese
heads.
broccoli. This is for my brother Giuseppe. Bah! No, mama, the cheese coming right for you. You don't go disrespecting my mother like that with your broccoli.
And you don't know who's who. So it's going to start family wars with these fucking morph suits. Just like, Timmy, why did you hit Big Jim with the broccoli? Big Jim looks like every other fucker in these morph suits, man.
I actually think it's going to solve these family disputes we have going. You're going to wind up on the same side and not even know it. You're going to throw the broccoli and hit like Timmy, and it's going to be like, oh, yo, you see the way Johnny hit him? I don't hate his face so much no more.
Oh my God. Are we going to solve world peace in fucking Philadelphia?
Ooh, that's a tall task. I would go back from California to Maryland again before I would solve world peace in Philly.
Okay. Yeah. I think we need to like get on our sea otters and see how far those fuckers can go from sea to shining arf there. Yeah.
Episode title from Sea to Shining Arg.
Yep. I'm going to put ARF because that's what they should be doing.
Yep.
Yep. Um, Oh my gosh, that would be fantastic. I mean, think about that. Okay, so we're doing the reverse trek on these fucking sea otters, and it's like, okay, we're almost there, but we got to go through Philly to get to New York to touch the fucking ocean. That's all right. We're almost there, and then you just see all of Philadelphia in these fucking green morph suits. It's just who would have thought Dollar Morph Suit Day would have led to so much chaos, but so much lasting peace.
You have no idea who it is, too. So you're gonna wind up just getting like shit kicked, and they're gonna take their morph mask off and just be like, "No, Mama, why you hit me so good with the gabagool? You come out here and you take a punch right to my face, and I don't like how that feels too good now, yo. And then you come out here, Mama, I just want to love you." And then next thing you know, it's just his mom's just beating fucking Johnny with like the broccoli. Just ah,
Eat your fucking vegetables. Oh man, yeah. Between
broccoli and no shoes, Johnny. Broccoli and no shoes. You come out here in your Mothman suit with your broccoli and no shoes.
there it is.
AJ, go morph into your broccoli shoes, AJ.
Oh man, I mean, just between that, I was gonna say some of like my homeless Iditarod people are probably gonna show up at some point in all this
Yeah.
bullshit. They just like abandon being Dutchies once they see the morph suits, and they're like, "Oh, I can look so cool," and then they're like, "Oh, it's that fucker again," and then they start fighting the sea lions and shit.
Now I just see like a whole bunch of like so it's the Amish, right? And they're all in the green morph suit, but then they just look at the Amish hat and the suspenders over the morph suit.
Somehow the beard is sticking out at places, but it's not.
They just have like a strap-on beard with like little like rope behind it. It's just strapped on underneath the hat.
It comes as one set. You got the hat and the beard. It's like little Abe Lincoln, little play toys for you.
Love it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Welcome to the dumb. I was wondering when it was going to happen. Took a
It
little
always
bit, but we
happens at
got
some
there.
point. Yep.
We fucking got there. So yeah, with that, we're going to end it on that note. We thank you for joining us for week 7 of Floral Foolishness.
Sports.
Oh, where it's always island
Arr.
time. Oh, from sea to shining. Oh, yeah. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. As always, I'm Stoczy, joined by the Dragon Wrangler, Jeremy Phelps. And as always, you stay tropical, Azerbaijan.